The midday protest against Putin is already taking place across Russia. There are large queues outside polling stations in St. Petersburg, in Moscow, and across some of the other time zones. As you know, Russia is this enormous country with many time zones. So I presume there will be queues outside polling stations for much of the day on television. Much of this, I suppose, will be suppressed by the Russian media, but no doubt the images and the protest will get across the international media and will be broadcast across the world, demonstrating, people simply doing what they are required to do democratically, going to vote, but doing so at a specific point to make a point. To make a point that Mr. Putin is a tyrannous wretch who needs to be brought down. And is this the only way? By electing Putin to turn his election into an ironic statement of protest. That is the posthumous command of Navalny and the urging of Navalny's widow, Yulia, to make a point. And that point, despite all the threats, despite all the intimidation put out by the Kremlin, that seems to be being carried out at this moment across Russia. We'll know later how successful this has been and whether or not it's had any sort of effect. It won't have an immediate effect. All it does is to raise awareness of the large numbers of people who are uncomfortable with the direction of the present regime, uncomfortable with the war, uncomfortable with the management of society, and probably, like me, also believe that Putin is in a fridge. And that the Putin who is being passed off is a doppelganger. And, he does a very good job. He's got the part almost down to perfection, but his ears are wrong. And his voice is different. But, maybe people's voices change as they get older. But in the space of about 6 years, the Putin that I see on television is certainly different to the Putin that was in Moscow, that was running around the universities, and it doesn't seem to me to be the same fellow. But who am I? In my mind, Putin is in a fridge, and if he happens to be real, who cares? As far as I'm concerned, he abandoned humanity when he crossed into Crimea. He abandoned humanity when he invaded Ukraine. And he continues to live in that abandoned humanity, whether that's in a fridge or in some sort of a mansion in Rublyovka or in the Kremlin itself. Who cares? He is, to all intents and purposes, dead.